Hey everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. Today's guest, very exciting new rising star in the bodybuilding world, just days away from the New York Pro, and he is one of the favorites. Please welcome, they call him Beef Stew, Stuart Sutherland. How are you, Stuart?
Hey Rob, how you doing, man?
Good. First question, who gave you that nickname? Where did it come from? That's the best nickname I've heard in years.
Yeah, I got that. I got to give credit to this kid I used to play lacrosse with back in high school. Um, I I think he went off to play at Navy when he went to college, but I haven't heard hide nor hair in a long time. But kind of stuck, so I just I rolled with it when I started bodybuilding in college. So that's where that's from.
It's awesome. I mean, people, things like that really stick to people, like Beef Stew, Beef Stew. I mean, it's cool to have a nickname like Beast or Mutant or everything, but that's kind of been done. I've never heard Beef Stew. You were the first. So,
Yeah, it's weird to hear people call me that now because it's a total joke back in the day, but
oh,
that's what everyone calls me. So
you're going to be hearing them yell across expos at you for now for years now. But
the shoe fits.
yeah. Second question: how did you grow so much hair? Because I saw you in Tampa. You had like a real close cut shave. You must grow hair at a rate far beyond the normal human.
Well, I haven't gotten a haircut since right before the USA's last year, so
Wow,
that's
July.
like 9 months now, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. There's a bunch of bald dudes in the IFBB. I don't think we need another one.
Oh,
So
dude. I mean,
I'm lucky, man. It doesn't fall out for
yeah.
all the stuff that we do in this sport. I'm real lucky. Both my grandparents, they all got full heads of hair and stuff, so I think I'll be okay.
How
I'm
old? How
just,
old are you? How
just
old
gonna
are you
rock
now,
it.
Stu?
I'm 26.
26. I mean, we both know guys your age in the sport who are already receding or big bald spots. So, yeah, this is a great example. It shows not everyone has to go bald. What a random way to
Lucky
start the
me.
interview. Yeah, it's awesome. But I thought this was your pro debut, but then I realized no, I saw him in Tampa last year, and not only that, you didn't do
Hmm.
that badly considering you jumped in there. What was that, like 2 weeks after USA? 3 weeks?
It was just a
Tampa?
week. It
It was
was
1 week.
August like 8th. Yeah. It was just the next weekend, a total shotgun trip.
Yeah.
Um, it didn't, definitely didn't go smooth because I wasn't really planning on doing the show. I didn't know, I was going to win the USA's, right? But I had the opportunity, so I was like, what the hell, I'll see what I look like next to these guys. And I'm glad I did it. I got to see, hey, what do I need to work on? What's out of place in this lineup? What's in place? I knew I need to work on my arms a lot and my back a lot during the off season. I think I put some tissue on there, so I've improved that a bit. But like my legs were kind of on par with the guys up there. Um, my torso was pretty close. My back still needs a lot of meat on it, but I made a couple of improvements. I think I'll probably be like 5 or 6 pounds heavier this year on stage, which is a decent little chunk in 9 months span there. So
Yeah.
I'm pleased with that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it was a shocking trip. I didn't plan it. I made a couple of mistakes at the end right before I got on stage. Like I stopped salting my food, just totally, you know, forgot to. And then I also got COVID at the USA's. Like
Oh
everybody
no.
got COVID at the USA's. So I think like Thursday night I started coughing. I couldn't taste anything I was eating. All the usual stuff. And yeah, so
But wait,
could
did
have could
you
have gone better, but it could have gone worse.
so did you compete in the Tampa Pro with COVID?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow. Man,
I also hadn't slept in like 2 weeks because, like,
oh
I mean, I'd never been to like a national show before the USA, so like that whole experience, I'm in Vegas. I'm seeing a bunch of people that I've followed online for years, talking to them. It's the craziest shit ever, right?
yeah.
It was really overwhelming, and then I won the show, and it just got more and more busy from there. So like I didn't, I had no time to like just chill out and relax and sleep, unfortunately. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it's still like one of the most fun times I've ever had in this sport. As long as I've been doing it, so
I mean,
um,
to win the
looking
USA
to
on your
improve on
first
that.
try, you won the USA, not just your class, you won the overall, which puts you in company of guys like Flex Wheeler, Chris Cormier. Bill Heath. I mean, these are all past USA champs. So you did it on your first try. You'd only been competing really a few years. You've only done, I think, less than you haven't even done 10 shows total yet, have you? I don't think.
No, no, I did. Let's see, I've done one, two, three, four, five, six now. Yeah,
Mhm.
I did the Emerald Cup 3 times. I did Vancouver Open, the USA's, and Tampa. So
Wow.
New York's going to be number 7, I think. I think there's another one in there in like 2017, which was like a total train wreck. I got on stage. I didn't even go to finals.
Oh boy.
It was, I don't like talking about
Okay.
that, but
Fair enough. Fair
I don't
enough.
like counting that one.
Yeah. The interesting thing is, I've watched a couple other interviews with you. You started off 2017 competing in classic, and you had actually intended originally to do men's physique at that show. So I'm curious, first show, first
Yeah.
season, you're about 250. You're going to be like 250, 255 on stage. We're thinking for this.
Yeah, something somewhere in there. Yeah.
So what were you at your first show in 2017? What'd you weigh?
About a buck 80 6 years
Ooh,
ago.
wow.
So yeah, I think I was natural at that point, or mostly natural. I think I had some clen or something in me, but
Yeah.
I don't really
Wow.
count. But yeah, I mean, after I did that first show, I got the bug, and it's just been snowballing ever since then. And you know how it goes. It kind of takes over your whole life, and here we are now. So
You've strategically took a couple years off in between there. You didn't compete in 2018 or 2020, and that's when you really made
mhm.
some vast improvements. It's tough. Honey Rambod had said this. Sometimes the toughest thing is to not compete, especially if you love competing and prepping and being up there. It's hard when you really need a full year to make improvements, but a lot of people they just can't do it because they're addicted to the process of competing. How did you do it? Because you did it twice where you took full years off.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that from the get-go, like, I got on stage in classic at like a buck 80, right? That's I knew that I was not going to be able to stay in that class. So I was going to have to get big and be an open guy. And what are the guys at, like, I'm about 5'8"? What are the guys who look good at my height weigh on stage? And it's like 240 to 260. So I was like, Jesus, this is going to take a long time. And I knew I was going to have to get like big in order to be a competitive physique, because I don't, I've got a reasonably good shape, but not like insanely good where you look 20 pounds heavier than you really are. Um, and I mean, I enjoy getting big and strong. A lot of people they panic when they start getting a little soft, and they can't see their abs anymore. I don't really get fat too easy in the off season. I really got to force feed myself. But I mean, just the week after week progression, getting a little heavier, getting a little stronger on your compound movements. That whole process is just as addicting to me as, like, watching yourself get leaner in prep. It's a little bit slower paced, and takes a little more patience, but I really do enjoy just the whole process of it. So, like, being heavy sucks, especially. Dude, I think I got up to like 295, my heaviest, this last year.
Wow.
Just,
Yeah.
it's awful being the heavy, but um, I mean, it's part of the process, and I've consistently kind of put extra tissue on each time I've gotten on stage. So
Do you follow one of those types of training protocols like DC training or something where you log the workouts and you have to use a little bit more weight or get a little more, couple more reps every time?
yeah, so I did do some DC training for probably like 4 or 5 months back in 2020. It was like right after the gyms opened back up. I was like, Jesus, I'm all small and skinny, fat. I gotta get some muscle back on me. So I did that for a little bit, but I mean, for the most part, last 5 or 6 years, I've had a pretty low volume, high intensity kind of training setup. If you're familiar with Jordan Peters, the way that he sets
Yeah.
up his training, it's pretty similar to that. So, and I obviously, with a progressive overload kind of training setup like that, you can't just get stronger forever. So in more recent years, I've focused more on, controlling tempo and creating intensity out of technique rather than just straight up load. Because, back in like 2018, 2019, I was barbell squatting 5.5, 6 plates for sets. Like I was really strong, but my legs were half the size they were now, and my knees hurt like so bad, because I was bouncing out of the hole and I was getting greedy and lifting like a young man. Um, but as I've gotten further into it, controlling weights, using them effectively. I mean, there's still heavy loads, right? But doing it in a way that is most productive and least likely to hurt myself. I've also stayed injury free almost entirely throughout this whole process, which I attribute to lifting with control all the time. So
We talk about training smart, and anyone who knows your story knows you are a very intelligent young guy. You were in the gifted program all through high school. Then you went and earned a mechanical engineering degree. And I want to get into the job situation because a lot of bodybuilders fantasize about, man, I wish I didn't have to work. I would just love to just be under some contract and watch TV. I'll watch Netflix all day or video games. Just wait for my next meal or next workout. So you are a project manager at, let me get this right, International Seismic Application Technology. Is that preventing earthquakes or
yeah,
something? I don't know what that is.
yeah. So I mean, basically, what my company does is when you have like so you have like a big factory or like a semiconductor fab like Intel, that's the project I'm working on. You have like really big heavy pipe utilities running through there. And in the case of an earthquake, you need to support that pipe adequately so that it doesn't swing around and break and hit shit, right? So what my company does is we sell material and engineering services to construction contractors, which then go and install that stuff in the field. We kind of provide services to the contractors, and then the contractors do the building work. That makes sense. I
Backtrack
mean,
before.
my job is not actual engineering work. I'm not running calcs and stuff on a daily basis. I've literally not used any of the stuff I used in engineering school since I graduated, just like how construction goes. But that's it's not particularly interesting, but it pays the bills. And um, I've been kind of toying with the idea of trying to get more into making a living off the sport. Um, and up until recently, it was kind of like a pipe dream, pretty much. But the more I've thought about it, the more I've tried to like set up plans and stuff. I think it might be doable. So I'm trying to figure that out how I could make that leap in the near future because you know it's a job, right? I don't really see it as a career though. I don't want to spend the next 5, 10, 15 years doing this because I don't love it. I love bodybuilding though, and I'm pretty good at it. If you look at like how good of a bodybuilder am I in terms of like compared to other people, right? And how good of a engineer project manager I am, it's like totally unbalanced. I'm much better at bodybuilding. Arguably hard to make a living at it, but I think I'm starting to believe that it's doable. So I'm trying to figure that out right now.
No, I mean it's all about popularity and how much influence you have. And you're in a great spot. You're 26 years old. Social media, it's a young man's and young woman's game. And look at someone like Bumstead. He's only a year older than you. He's got like almost 12 million followers on Instagram,
He's a
YouTube
lot better
channel.
looking too. So
He is a good
there's
looking
that.
kid. Every guy has to admit Bumstead's a good looking guy. I don't care who he
He's
is.
a very good looking guy.
Got
Yeah.
and the mustache. He's got the whole thing. But what I'm saying is, you appeal to this demographic they're the ones who consume the most social media. They're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube more than anybody else. I think you have a very legitimate chance because up until a couple months ago, I never heard of beef stew, and now it's all I hear is beef stew. I think your time is like almost here, and I think after New York Pro in particular, I think your stock is going to rise drastically, drastically.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I want to start coaching more people as well. I've got like I think I want to say like 7, 8, 9 guys right now. If I could keep on growing that, you can make really a really good living doing that. And you know, take on enough people where I can still give everybody attention like they need. Because I'm used to a certain standard working with my coach Blue, where the amount of communication and effort that he puts in each one of his clients is like really high. So I'm used to that, and that's kind of what I want to provide to the people that I work with down the road. Um, it's obviously difficult to do that when you're doing another full-time job as well, on top of it, plus, professional bodybuilding and life. There's only so many hours in the day, unfortunately. But I'm trying to. I'm starting. Like I said, I'm starting to believe that it's possible, and starting to trying to figure out a plan here. So
Absolutely, it is. I mean, but the job that you have now, I know it's not your dream job. It's not what you want to do forever, but it has allowed you to sit at a desk most of the day, correct? You're not like running
yes,
around. You've been able to eat your meals when you need to eat your meals. You need to go to the gym when you want to go to the gym, and look at the improvements that you've made over the past few years. Because how long you been doing that job?
I mean, I worked for a different company right out of college, but in total, like about 3 years now, I've been out of college. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Being able to work a desk job, and if I was working construction, like actually working for a living, wouldn't have made anywhere near the amount of progress that I have in the last few years because I got a pretty fast metabolism. The amount of food I'd have to eat if I was on my feet all day, moving around and doing shit, like forget about it. I don't think it would have happened. So I do realize that I'm very lucky to be in the situation that I'm in. But I also know that I can set myself up even better if I take the right steps in the near future. So
With a fast metabolism, for you to hit like 295, I don't know if you want to go into the calories, just how many meals, what kind of food volume did it take for you to put that much size on?
dude, I'll have like my food in front of me, right? And I'll have a water bottle here and a big old spoon, and then basically just doing this for like half an hour each meal. I don't I the only thing I blend was like my first meal, like oats and whey, right? But it's all solid food. I just basically force it down. I really never have an appetite when I'm that heavy, and really pushing my food hard. Um, but I know that if I don't get it down, I'm not going to make any progress. The fortunate part of that is like for better, I mean, 3/4 of prep, I'm not hungry at all. Like, I mean, the first half of it, I'm still washing my food down with water. And then, I start to get a little hungry for my meals. And then, just in the last 3, 4 weeks, I've been like, okay, I'm actually hungry now. I could go and eat more than I'm supposed to if I had to. So it's kind of a blessing and a curse, but it does allow me to get in condition a lot easier than some people might. I'm still eating a decent amount of food. My cardio got up to like 30 minutes at the highest on stairs, like
Wow.
fucking nothing, right? Compared to what some people can do.
Yeah.
So, pick your poison, but
Yeah. So last year after Tampa, obviously that was just like last minute decision. Did you know after that was said and done, after Tampa was done? And let me hold on, I gotta give you a little credit, man. You didn't do that badly, considering it was nothing planned and you didn't the Salton situation. You got seventh place. You beat some good guys. Tim Budesheim, he's no slouch. Sung Cho Lee, the big Korean dude, Roman Fritz, Morgan Ast, Dorian Haywood. These are all guys who have been top five in a bunch of pro shows at different times. Some of them have won shows. So give yourself a little pat on the back, man. That wasn't that bad considering you've been
yeah,
pro.
like I said, it could have gone worse. It could have gone better. I think I mean, I was basically there as a tourist and to get, a point of reference, more of a tourist than anything else, because I've been following the sport for years and I'm fans of all these guys and seeing them up close in person backstage, like it was so cool. It was so cool to see these guys in real life because I'd never even been to a pro show
Oh
prior to
wow.
that. And
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, I haven't really gone and done a lot of bodybuilding stuff. Um, you know, or like gone and done stuff in the industry per se.
Yeah.
So I haven't gone to a lot of these events. I haven't seen these guys in person, and it was just really cool to like, Akeem Williams is like 3 feet front to back. I'd never seen anybody that big, like Morgan asked. I was getting tanned right after him. And the night before I'm getting tanned looking at this dude like, what the hell am I doing here? He's like 315 or something. There's no skin on him. It was really cool, as a fan more than anything, getting to see all that stuff for the first time.
Did you ask after the show? Did you ask the judges for any feedback right after that?
Um, I don't think I did. I kind of just got out of there after that. I was so exhausted. I could tell from like the pictures and videos that they took at the show, and they did do a great job with the picture and videos there. I could see like my arms weren't big enough. My conditioning was a little off because of the way that I screwed up my peak at the end.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess I overall, like my physique is pretty balanced, I'd say. It just kind of needs more tissue everywhere, particularly on my back. So, um, I did my deadlifts this off season. I put some extra volume work into my arms, and I was able to put a little bit of extra tissue on those spots, and I think it'll help me. So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you need a lot more size. I think you're pretty close to where you need to be. Obviously everybody can always be better, always chasing perfection, but 5'8"
mhm.
and 255, 260, and anywhere in that realm, you're as big as just about. Think about it. Who's been bigger than that? That's been doing well in the pro ranks over the years. I can't think. I mean, Walker's like 215. He's not that much shorter. He's like 5'7". So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I think he's like 5'7", 5'6.5" or something. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty numbers wise, I'm pretty close to on par with some of the. Yeah, I guess I overall, like my physique is pretty balanced, I'd say. It just kind of needs more tissue everywhere, particularly on my back. So, um, I did my deadlifts this off season. I put some extra volume work into my arms, and I was able to put a little bit of extra tissue on those spots, and I think it'll help me. So,
yeah. I mean, I don't think you need a lot more size. I think you're pretty close to where you need to be. Obviously everybody can always be better, always chasing perfection, but 5'8"
mhm.
and 255, 260, and anywhere in that realm, you're as big as just about. Think about it. Who's been bigger than that? That's been doing well in the pro ranks over the years. I can't think. I mean, Walker's like 215. He's not that much shorter. He's like 5'7". So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I think he's like 5'7", 5'6.5" or something. So, yeah, 20 pounds off my stage weight or something, and just kind of make the improvements where I need to make them. It's going to be so much better for my health. I'm just not carrying around an extra 10, 15 pounds of garbage all the time. I won't be so uncomfortable all the time. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. I've been pushing hard for the last few years to get to this level of muscularity. And I'm looking forward to kind of like backing off a bit. And now that I'm kind of close to where I need to be.
yeah. How did you end up in Arizona? Was it for a job? Because I know you're originally from Washington State, right?
Yeah, so I grew up in Washington. I went down to Oregon for college, and then I was working in Oregon for a couple of years. But yeah, like I mentioned, I was working on that Intel project. There's a big semiconductor fab down here that I got transferred down to a different branch to work at. So that's what I've been working on. I think I've been here just over a year now. Um, honestly, I went back up to visit home for the first time in a while, just a week and a half ago, for the Emerald Cup because I was guest posing there. And I'd forgotten how pretty it was, and I really want to move back now. you
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
I mean, compared to Arizona, everything's just green and beautiful and lush. And I I also kind of want to be near my parents too.
Yeah.
They're in their 60s now, so I want to spend more time with them. And it would take an act of God to get my mother to come down to the desert. She hates the sun, so
Yeah.
um, I'm trying to figure out if I could get myself back up there in the near future. Because I mean, it's just it. I don't know if you've ever been in the Northwest, but it is like heaven on earth. You
No.
just stay outside of Portland and Seattle, like
Yeah.
the downtown areas, because those are gross and dirty. But like everywhere else is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I can pull that off soon as well.
Yeah. Because people say the Northwest, it's cold, it's rainy, blah blah blah. and they talk about these hot places, but I mean, I personally, I can't stand the heat. I don't know if how well you know, because man, Arizona goes to like a hundred's like an average summer day. I think there, that's like nothing
Yeah, yeah.
special. And I think I've seen,
I can handle it, but I mean, I do like seasons, man. I grew up with them, and it's kind of like hot or more hot here. There's never anything else.
two seasons,
So
two man. So let's just finish up talking about New York Pro. When did you decide you were going to do it? Did you know right after Tampa, I'm going to do New York Pro next year, or was it kind of like wait and see how the off season went, and then you sort of picked a show?
so right after the I got off stage at the USA, Steve comes up to me and he's like, doesn't even say hi. He's just like, do New York. So, or do New York, the way that
Yes.
he pronounces it. So I was like, okay, I'm doing New York. And I asked him like, hey, do you think I could do Tampa too? And he was like, yeah, sure, why not? So I went to Tampa as well. But yeah, he told me to, so I'm doing it. And he probably tells everybody that, but um, it turns out that it is probably a good show for me to try and do because looking at the lineup, there's not a bunch of like Olympia level heavy hitters that are just going to wash the floor with us because there's a lot of newer guys there who are we have an opportunity to show up in the first call out potentially and actually do well. Uh, um, Whereas, if it was a bunch of Olympians, like we'd be an afterthought. So it's a good opportunity for some like me and some of the newer guys to show our faces and kind of prove ourselves, I guess. Um, and then let's see, so New York is in 9 days now. And then the next weekend, I'm going to go over to Cali, do the Cal State there
Yeah.
because, I'm in shape. I may as well. I got my uncle actually lives down San Diego too, so he's going to drive up to Anaheim and he'll
Oh,
be able to
okay.
watch me there. But
Good times.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I hope you're doing that. They're back to back. Why wouldn't you do them both? I mean,
Yeah,
you could be like Nathan Dash did a few years back. He won them both back to back. Yeah,
did
remember
he?
that?
I
Yeah, yeah,
forgot.
he did. He did. Yeah, people forgot about Nathan. He was pretty good. He's coming back. Don't worry.
Yeah, he's
But
really good. People always forget about him, man.
yeah. So how excited are you to finally get back up there with these improvements you've made? Because I think you've got as good a chance as anyone. I mean, Tonio's very good. I see Max Charles in it too. But man,
Is Max
you're
doing it?
I
I
saw him. I
have
saw
you?
him on desktop. Xavier said he's doing it. I don't know if he is or not, but
Yeah, I'm not sure. I got a buddy who trains at Bev's, and like he's seen Max, like because Max is doing the Masters O as well, right?
yeah, yeah,
So, and I know he does like really long seasons. He competes at a lot of shows usually, but
he does.
that would be weird timing. And like my buddy was saying, he doesn't look like he's a week out from a show right now. But
You know,
I don't know. We'll see if he shows up there. We still don't have the proper list out, do we? I mean,
Monday
still waiting
afternoon,
on
I
that.
think. Yeah, but like I said, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I mean, as far as like expectations for the show, I keep on telling myself like, I'll be happy if I'm in the first call out, but like I'm not going to be happy unless I win the show,
Of course, yeah,
because again, there's like there's not a bunch of guys there that are showing up that should just out and out beat me,
right.
Olympians and really good competitors that are veterans and stuff. So looking at like what I look like and the improvements I've made, if I show up in condition like I know I can, I think I can get into like the top three.
100%,
I think it's
100%.
like me, Tonio, um, Nate Spear.
Yeah,
He's always
yeah,
in really
Nate's
good
good.
shape. Who else? There's Robin Strand.
Yeah, Robin's good
He's
too.
got a couple of gaps on him, but he's a big guy. Um, Joe Seaman. Like
Yeah,
I don't know what he's been doing, but like in the last 2 weeks, he's gone from like looking like he was 8 weeks out to like 2 weeks out.
wow.
He's doing something to pull it all together at the end. I've personally never run a prep like that, but he's gotten a lot harder in the last few days, I think.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I'd be you got to remember like 9 months ago like I was an amateur, right?
right.
And the idea of winning money at a bodybuilding show is like crazy to me.
Right.
But that's like a realistic possibility now, right? Which is just crazy to think about. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to get up there and see what I can do. So
This is also the only show where you get a really cool ring if you win too.
yeah, that would be good bragging rights.
Like a Super Bowl ring. But cool, man. Well, that's it, man. I'm very excited to see you. You know, I've been hearing so much about you. I barely remember you from Tampa last year because I'm always just focused on, you know, the top five guys. But I remember seeing you like, who the heck? I thought you were from like England or something. Then I saw USA on the score sheet. Like, I didn't realize I hadn't followed the USA the week before. I didn't realize you were just blowing that show away. So, man, you know, I'm really got a good feeling about this show for you. We'll see what happens. Obviously, you never know, but man, you've got a hell of a physique on you. You're still young. You're nowhere near where I think you're going to be. I think you're going to be way better than this a year from now, and then even better than that. Just like guys like Andrew Jack, and as good as Andrew is now, he's going to be better and better. We see Samson getting better and better. You know, it's cool to see the young guard like yourself that improved from season to season. Whereas we had guys, we had a whole group of guys that were older and they were great, but they always looked the same every year because, you know, they're 40, 45 years old. What are you going to do? They're not going to be improving that much. So excited to see you, Stuart. Beef Stew, best nickname out there. So that's it, guys. We will be doing full coverage of the show. I want to remind everyone this YouTube channel will be doing live coverage. Myself and Jose Raymond will be there on site at the New York Pro checking this guy out, Stuart Sutherland. So make sure you guys follow along next Saturday, May 20th, for our coverage of New York Pro. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, hit the notification bell, and looking very much forward to seeing you on stage, Stuart. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you for having me, man. I'll see you in New York.
See you next week. All right, guys. Thanks for watching Ronline Report with Stuart Sutherland. We'll see you next time. Hey, did you like that video? Smash that like button, subscribe to MD, and please comment down below. Thanks for watching.